Okay, hello everybody. Good evening and good morning. We have people across the globe. It's fantastic to see you all here. Give me a hi if you're excited to be a part of this SAFe masterclass and to get ready to take your Agile project management career to new heights. Oh, yes. Yep. And my name is Divya Sudraju, and I'll be your host for this exclusive SAFe POPM masterclass. In this interactive session, our SAFe practice consultant, Haricharan, will reveal the secrets to starting a career as a certified SAFe POPM, and get ready to achieve this in a short span of time. And today, we're going to debunk the myth that starting a career as a SAFe POPM is a daunting task. We'll show you how it can be done and accomplished efficiently and effectively. We have designed this masterclass to be engaging and enjoyable. So feel free to share your comments, suggestions, and questions throughout the session. We're here to assist you in every step of the way. Whether you're an aspiring product owner or a product manager or an experienced professional looking to enhance your skills, the SAFe POPM course is sure to be an exhilarating journey towards mastering Agile product development and elevating your career to the new heights. So for all of you, just because you're a part of this masterclass, we're also giving out a bunch of exclusive free bonuses. But there's a catch. Only those of you who attend the entire class, entire session, are eligible for these giveaways. So wait till the end. And yeah, so once again, thank you for joining. Yeah. So Haricharan is a certified SAFe practice consultant, and he's an experienced senior executive with a strong international background in IT and business. He has a vast experience, and he has a proven track record in delivering successful software products and services across diverse industries. So you have a lot to take from him today with his expertise in product management and business analysis to sales and whatnot. So, yep, here we have a quick question for you guys, just to know, people across, so we're going to have a quick poll for you guys, and you can fill in the questions there so that we can curate the content accordingly. Yeah. What are some other product management certification courses have you considered or considering? Reasons regarding why would be it would be helpful, please do drop in the chat. Yep, you got to mention your work experience. Where are you from? Awesome. I see a lot of answers coming in. And how would you describe your level of understanding in product management? Okay, we have quite many people having an experience from 3 to 15 years. And yeah, I see the location, and most of them are in an intermediate and beginner level. So yeah, Haricharan.
Yeah, I was just saying 66% of our participants today,
yeah,
they have between 3 to 15 years of experience who are interested in this program. So that's good to know. Okay. And if there are any other product management certifications or courses that you're considering or you're thinking of doing or you've already done it, please post them in the Zoom chat window, so that we can also have a look at it, and we'll also learn better.
Yeah. And do drop out all the questions in the chat box so that we can take it through when we get time. Yeah. Right. So yeah, the fact here says, yes, the figure that you're seeing, which is 8 lakhs plus SAFe Exactly. So this demonstrates the widespread recognition and value of SAFe certifications in the job market. So having a larger number of certified professionals indicates the broad appeal of the framework and its relevance in supporting organizations on their agile transformation journey. So yeah, you got it right. And fact two, so 70% of the world's biggest companies employ SAFe certified professionals, and their average salary is not less than 1,17,000 USD a year. So it has gained a significant traction and adoption across various industries and organizations seeking to implement Agile at scale. And fact three, so what you see is right. Our recent industry reports or salary surveys or job market analysis says that the salaries grow at whopping 24% every year, and jobs are growing at 67% every year. That's amazing, right? So yeah, value of SAFe certification. So all that you need to know at the beginning stage, absolutely. So SAFe certification can bring numerous valuable benefits to professionals in various industries. So here are some key advantages of obtaining SAFe certification. So career opportunities. This opens up a broader range of career opportunities, as many companies now require professionals who can drive successful agile transformations and agile leadership roles, whether it's a product owner, scrum master, release train engineer, or other agile roles. Your certification demonstrates your ability to lead and deliver value in complex agile environments. And when it comes to marketability, so holding a SAFe certification improves your marketability and gives you a competitive edge over other candidates in the job market. When it comes to earning potential, yes, SAFe certifications are often associated with higher earning potential. The demand for agile professionals with expertise in SAFe can lead to more lucrative job offers and better compensation packages. Professional credibility. When it comes to this, earning a SAFe certification signifies your commitment to continuous learning and professional development. It adds credibility to your resume and demonstrate that you have met the rigorous standards set by the Scaled Agile Academy. Find that certifications are just one aspect of your career growth, and practical experience and continuous learning are equally crucial for long-term success in agile landscape. So overall, SAFe certification offers a pathway to success in the agile world, providing professionals with the necessary skills, recognition, to opportunities to excel in their careers. Career impact. So SAFe is the most popular method, as you see the numbers and the percentage here. So 70% of Fortune 100 companies actively employ SAFe. We have about 8 lakhs plus SAFe practitioners globally, and which says 1,22,235 USD is the annual salary for SAFe practitioner, and a higher salary growth rate with 22% between 2022 to 2022. 2020 to 2022. So there's going to be 87% hike in the job listings across defense, banking, or energy, or logistics, when it comes to manufacturing, oil and gas industries. Yeah. So we have a question here. What do you think is the main reason why individuals with interest in product owner role don't get the SAFe POPM certification despite its obvious advantages?
So there's a poll that's running around, so you may want to click on the answers in the poll.
Lack of awareness, time and resource constraints, perceived relevance, or certification requirements and prerequisites, cost considerations. Okay. Yeah. Here we have the results. Haricharan, for you.
Yeah, so we have about 35% of folks saying that it's mostly because of lack of awareness. Another 35% basically saying it's because of the perceived relevance, in the sense that people believe that some other certifications are more valuable than the other. So for that, and 20% people basically saying cost considerations are the reasons. Now,
Yeah. So here is what we're going to cover today. Is business analysis dead? The reality of software projects in the current know-how, and how do I become a product manager or a product owner? Interview tips, and why scaled agile, and POPM role in scaled agile and its curriculum, and KnowledgeHut advantage for you to join in. And yes, we're going to have a Q&A session at the end.
thanks for that, Divya.
Thank you.
So, good morning, good evening, and good afternoon from folks from whichever location you're joining in, right? So today's topic, transitioning from business analysis to product management with the help of the SAFe POPM certification. So I often, whenever I done my POPM classes, right, I get a lot of these questions. I'm already doing a business analysis role. What can I do to basically transition to the product management role? I have the skill set. I believe I have the skill sets. What do I need to do, and things like that, right? So I often tell them that it's just not about the knowledge itself. It's sometimes all about the practical applications of it as well. And it's a little bit more than that, a little bit more nuanced. The product management role, a little bit more nuanced. So we'll talk about what is it that is happening in that space, and we'll also cover quickly what can you do to get into that space, right? So with that, let's talk about this, right? So building software is really tough, right? From what we know, right, you don't build anything that already exists yet, right? So you're always trying to build something that doesn't exist yet, which is absolutely abstract. And our customers are also trying to explain this thing to us in a very abstract language, and trying to explain, how they want the end user, end feature to look like, end product to look like. We imagine what they're describing. We try to build the product we believe they're trying to describe, and then finally, when the customer gets their hand on the product, we want to check if we really built a product that what is what the customer wants, right? Now, this is a very difficult thing to do, because all the while what we're doing is just talking, being very abstract. We're just talking, abstract, and only towards the very end, when we show the customer the very first opportunity where we talk to the customer about, what we have built, that's when it becomes clear that, okay, maybe I misunderstood. Okay, maybe we built it exactly what the customer wanted. So we're going to talk about this as well. So software development is not really that easy to do as many people think it is. It is tough because you're building something which is abstract. Right now, if you do just a small pop quiz of, right, what percentage of all the project time or product time that we spend is spent gathering and elaborating, communicating on the product requirements, right? I find, or we found that the number is closer to be 50%. So 50% of the time of anybody's time is basically spent in gathering requirements, elaborating, and communicating them to various stakeholders. And then the percentage of requirements that change during the course of a project or a product, the development cycle, right? That's closer to 35%, right? Which means 1/3 of the product, or a little bit more than 1/3 of the product, is completely changed by the time you get to the end phase of it, right? And then again, the percentage of features that you build so hard with your development team, more than 65% of the features that you build hardly get used. I'll give you a very classic example. On your screen, you have the Zoom application. I can tell you that we hardly use 10% of Zoom's capabilities right away, right? And all those features still exist, and less than 10% of all those features is what we use, right? And this is just a very small example. You can go about thinking about a lot of other software products that have so many different functionalities, but we hardly use them, right? Now, what's the reality of these software projects, right? 31% of all these IT projects, they get cancelled before completion. 52% of the projects that we've already completed, they've cost us, or they've taken twice as much longer and almost twice as much expensive, right? And only 17% of projects are completed on time and on budget. So that should give you a very good understanding of where the market is going, right? Like, this is a project getting done or a product getting delivered on time and on budget is a rarity in our IT world. Right? Having said that, what does it mean for the BA? What I'm a business analyst. What does it mean for me? I'm doing this work in a company, right? My slogan for this is always, the business analyst is dead, long live the business analyst. What do I mean by that? So the business analysis as we thought it existed in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s, today ceases to exist, right? Today, the role or expectation from business analyst is huge. Today, we have a completely different expectation. We expect the business analyst to do a lot more, basically be part of the product, be part of engineering, be part of delivery, be part of sales cycle. We expect the business analyst to be everywhere. And compare this with what business analyst was doing like 20 years, 30 years ago, the role has changed a lot, right? Now, having said that, let's talk a very quick definition of what is a business analyst, right? What is business analysis? It's a practice of enabling change in an organization by defining the needs and recommending solutions to deliver value to stakeholders. A very simple, straightforward, definition. And what does a business analyst do? They are responsible for discovering, synthesizing, analyzing information, eliciting the actual needs, investigating, clarifying expert desires, underlying issues and causes. So what I did was, I went through this entire thing and I kind of highlighted the parts that I thought were important, right? Business analyst or business analysis is basically a change enabler. We are a change agent in the system. The whole point of business analysis is to bring about some change in the product or in the way we work or in the way we deliver things, right? And how do we do that? We do that by defining the needs and recommending solutions. So as you can see, the business analyst's role is not just about documentation and PRDs and stuff like that. It's a lot more about recommending solutions, like what is the best solution to be built in this scenario. And you can notice I've highlighted discovering, synthesizing, and analyzing information, getting the actual needs from the stakeholders, understanding the causes, the issues that are at the base of the causes, right? Now, having said this definition, right, let's look at how has the role evolved from the 90s, right, from the 80s and 90s, right? You can see earlier the focus of the business analyst was extremely only on the IT processes and systems. That was easier to do, right? They had limited direct customer interactions because somebody else was already doing it for them, right? They were basically brought in on a project level, on a case-by-case basis whenever needed, heavy documentation, heavy waterfall approach, right? And again, limited recognition within organizations, because at that point in time, the role of what business analyst was not very well defined. Like, it was more like on a need basis, we need this person, we bring in, that's how it happened, right? And if you notice what's happening in today's world is, right, the BA's role has expanded beyond IT. Today, we find business analysts working in every single department, not just about IT, right? They are now involved in data analytics, AI initiatives. The focus is on clear and concise communication, being able to understand AI applications, user-centered design, feedback-driven development. As you can see, right, BA's role has now become very critical for even innovation, right? You are now cross-functional. You're not expected to be just doing BA work. You're expected to do a fair amount of business analysis, product management, team management, Scrum management. The BA steps up, and I know almost half of you would agree that a lot of the BAs today play a proxy product owner role, PPO as we call them, right? A lot of people do. If you do, send a hi in the chat window. Now, having said that, right, so we talked about what has happened in the 80s, we talked about what's happening in the present day. Let's talk a little bit more about what's happened between 2000 and now, right? So you can see that the product owner, the business analyst role, you can see how it's evolved into something way bigger than what we think it usually was. So I look at 2000s JDs, job descriptions, and roles that people played. I know for a fact that it has changed a lot, and you can see now that the standard business analyst profile is basically a lot more. It involves a lot more product management, a lot more of other things, and they expect the business analyst to be acting like a product manager, right? So let's look at who's a product manager, right? So product managers are people who are stubborn on their vision and they're very flexible on details, meaning that they don't lose sight of the end goal, and they make sure that they have all the flex that they need between in this journey to get there, right? So they don't lose sight of the end goal. So they keep that end goal in mind, and whatever compromises they need to do in their journey, they make it to get there. Now, why am I bringing up this point is one of the primary reasons why I'm bringing up this point is because I want us to understand that becoming a product manager is probably your end goal. And if that is your end goal, be stubborn on your end goal, but be very flexible on the details. You don't necessarily have to have a product manager title or a product owner title to get there. You can eventually get there through your work, and how that is, we'll talk about it. Right? Now, what do product owners do? What does a product owner do? What do all these people do, right? So let's talk about product owner, right? It's a very high level example. Please do not think that this is only what the product owner does. There's a lot more to it, but I'm just talking about a very small subset here. So what does the product owner do? They define and communicate the vision, they engage with customers in the team, they gather and prioritize stories, collaborate on the roadmap, prioritize backlog items, work within the Agile framework, align with stakeholders' goals, plan and coordinate launches, all of that stuff. Fantastic. Then what does the product manager do? Product manager shapes and aligns the product vision. He or she also collaborates with the stakeholders, defines and manages requirements, makes product decisions, implements agile practices, monitors customer feedback, right? Oversee product release process, conducts market research. Now I have a question for all the BAs on the chat window. Okay, there's a question for all the BAs in the chat window. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm seeing 10 plus 10, 20 line items on the screen right now. How many of these are you already doing in your current role? So folks who are in front of a Zoom window, yeah, 5, okay, fair enough. Others, you may want most of them, okay. How many of these expectations are you already doing? If you can put that in the chat window, that would be helpful. 10 of them, 5 of them, 6 of them, most of them. Okay, fantastic. 17, very accurate, very good. Most of them, fantastic, right? So now comes the question, right? Then this is exactly what I do also. Then how can I become a product manager? Yes, that's a question that everybody raised, right? So product manager does this, product owner does this, but as a business analyst, I also do a lot of these things. So how can I become a product manager or product owner, right? So now we are going to see a bunch of things, techniques, processes, methods that you can adopt to become a product owner or a product manager, right? So what would one of those things be, right? One of the first things that I find a business analyst can actually contribute in becoming or moving towards a product ownership is to understand that the BA role, the product owner role, the PM role, the product management role is very fuzzy. It's very fuzzy, meaning that there is no real demarcation saying you should do this and PO should do this and PM should do this, right? The roles are very fuzzy. So if you look at it, right, there are a lot of interesting charts out there, a lot of interesting Venn diagrams and collaborative diagrams, and you'll find that plenty of them around, right? Please don't let any one of them bucket you into a category. Okay, or BA should do only this, and the product owner should do only this, or a business analyst should do only this. Please do not think that it's very categorized. This is just the needs of the industry. They keep changing. So in my opinion, that the role between, it's basically a spectrum between PA, PO, and PM. The whole thing is a whole big spectrum. So please don't think that you are bucketed or buttonholed into a role. It's not like that. It's never like that. Right? Now, having said that, right, how do you become a product owner or product manager? One of the primary things that I see helping most people become product managers and product owners is the following, right? So in your own organization, you must be having all these meetings. Mostly you'll have an iteration review, which is called sprint review or sprint demo. You'll have a monthly team check-in, a steer committee meeting, whatever you want to call it. You'll have quarterly product reviews or sprint, what you call a system demos and things like that. Then of course you have the quarterly product strategy and planning meeting, product vision strategy review. My humble request is to all the business analysts, start attending these meetings, start contributing these meetings, right? Just find ways to participate, contribute, and eventually lead these events. You'll be surprised at how many people have become product managers simply by offering to take meeting minutes or organize the meeting or prep their teams and build dashboards. So these are some things that product managers are always shorthanded on, in the sense that they don't have the bandwidth to do a lot of these things. And these are things where a business analyst can step in and basically help own these pieces for the product manager. Now, so this was simple. This is a very low hanging fruit. This is simple and easy to do, right? What else can you do to become a product owner or product manager, right? You can talk about the 5 risks that a product manager faces. So there are 5 usual risks: delivery risk, business viability risk, feasibility risk, usability risk, and value risk, right? Now, these are 5 risks that become evident as and when the team starts building the product or the service, right? So your job could be to help the product manager and the team manage the 5 big risks to increase confidence and avoid failure. So for that, for what could you do for that? You could have a lot of techniques. For example, you could do a pre-mortem, which is what are the ways in which this product can fail, or what are the ways in which this feature delivery would fail. We also call it red teaming. So those of you who are not familiar with red teaming is, think of red teaming like a devil's advocate kind of a stuff, where they basically focus on how can you break this product apart. Right? We talk about doomsday future specter, which is all about what happens if the world ends tomorrow. Will our product survive? What do we do? Right? Competing possibilities, alternative realities. All of these are scenario building questions that you can start playing with the team and with the product manager to understand what is a product manager thinking like. What is the thinking behind this process? What are the thinking behind the decision making skills? That would give you a very good insight into what you should be thinking as a product owner or a product manager. Right? Then what else can you do to become a good product owner or a good product manager? Right? You could also start talking or asking the right questions. What you see on the right is basically the 5 whys, right? You ask the 5 whys: why, and why, right? And those of you who are not familiar with 5 whys, it's a very ancient Japanese technique where we basically want to solve the right problem. We don't want to solve the symptom, we want to solve the problem. Right? And of course, there's nothing worse than solving the wrong problem, right? Because you want to build the right solution to the right problem. Right? And as the slide says, right, fall in love with the problem, not your solution. Why? Because your solution will keep changing. Your solution will keep evolving. So don't be married to just one solution and then think that, okay, I just cannot get rid of it. No, your solutions are disposable. The solutions can evolve. Therefore, understand the problem better. Understand the problem statement more. That's more important. Right? What else can you do to become a product owner or product manager, right? You can start focusing on vertical slicing, also known as how do I deliver the minimum viable product. And why should you do this? Because you are the business analyst. You have all the information in the world and all the knowledge in the world to basically guide the team in deciding how you can vertically slice the features, vertically slice the requirements. So when you say vertical slicing, what do I mean by that? What we mean by that is, remember when we talk about Agile and Scrum and all of that stuff, we talk about a very simple mechanism, which is all about delivering value at every step. And when we deliver value, we want the value that is usable by the end user, which is testable by the end user, through which the end user can actually gain some benefit, right? So for that reason, we talk about vertical slicing. Our job is to enable the faster delivery of value. And as business analysts, what we can do is to help the team understand or break down these silos into vertical slicing, because you know the business value. Who better than a business analyst to explain the value of a feature? Right? Okay, so that was easy. What is something else that we can do to become a product owner or a product manager? Right? We can also start talking about building skills. We call this polyskilling, right? It is more important to get a thing done than have a lot of work in progress. So today, if you notice, right, I think most of you must be familiar. Okay, how many of you are familiar with the whole T-shaped model? in the chat window, if you can, all of you. How many of you familiar with the T-shaped model of the person, of the individual? Okay, 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 okay. Fair enough. Anuj will explain that in a minute. Okay, fair enough. So what is the T-shaped model of the person, right? So basically it means that the person has broad knowledge in one domain and is a specialist in any one domain. They have a very good skill set in one domain. That's basically what it means as a T-shaped person. So here you can see this is you are, for example, a software developer who just does software development in one language would be a specialist. But somebody who knows multiple languages, can dabble with them to a certain extent, but knows one language in depth would be a T-shaped person, and so on and so forth, right? So if you notice, right, the needs of the industry are also changing. So we were all a bunch of I-shaped individuals, right? I-shaped skills. We had all I-shaped skills where we all do what we do best. Then the needs of the business evolved. We started becoming T-shaped people. Then we started becoming pie-shaped people, meaning, you need to have skills in at least one extra domain, like special skills. Then if you notice, we started becoming comb-shaped people, where, the focus is you need to know more skills. You need to have more specialist skills across the domain, right? Now, what would be a good example for a comb-shaped skill person would be like a full stack developer. He or she has to know everything that is there, right? You have to know a lot more stuff. That's what basically what we're talking about here when we basically say that talking about T-shaped skills. Now there's a new method in the market, or a new technique in the market called as paint drip method. What do you mean by paint drip method? It basically means that you have broad knowledge across multiple systems, but you are kind of like, a specialist in some of these things. You're learning and you're evolving as you go along. This is called as a paint drip. If you look at it from a big picture perspective, it looks like as if it's a wall and the paint is just drying on that wall. Like all these drops are just paint drops and just all drying on the wall, right? It's called the paint drip method, and this is a new skill that's coming up in the market, right? So the point I wanted to highlight here, is it is important to polyskill yourself. Learn multiple techniques, tools, languages as you need to stay relevant in the market, right? That's very, very important. Then see, I don't have like a management degree, or I don't have. These are all the backgrounds of all the people who have gone on to become a product manager. College students have become product managers, copywriters have become product managers, business development people have become product managers, these managers have become product managers, CTOs have become product managers. You can become a product manager regardless of your current role. It is not something that is defined as something set in stone. Okay. Anybody can be a product manager. Anybody can be a product manager. Now, having defined that, right? Again, what else can I do to become a product owner or product manager, right? We talk about influence without authority. That's very, 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 very important skill that a business analyst trying to become a product owner should have. Why? Because if you need to use your authority, when I say authority, what I mean, I am your manager, so you should do what I'm asking you to do, or I am your superior, you should do what I'm asking you to do. Then it's just basically influencing with authority, right? So if you're not there and if you don't tell that person what to do, they probably might not do it at all, or they might basically not consider it. The whole point of influence without authority is being able to convince somebody, being able to convince them that you have to do something, and being good at it. That's basically influence without authority. The way I look at it, right? The way I look at it, I find that the business analyst is right in the middle, where he or she is talking to engineering, UX, the executives, the product managers, the marketing, the sales people, and basically you do have a large sphere, but whether you're using that to influence people or not is something probably you need to start thinking about, right? So basically you can do all of this. You can basically influence others by leveraging your communication skills, your expertise, your effective relationship building, your articulation of value, your understanding of the product and market. And you can do all of this without authority, without saying that I am your boss. And because you're not somebody's boss, they might even pay attention to you, right? That's the kicker here. People might even enjoy talking to you, and they may even want to do something for you, right? So influence with authority is one of the key soft skills that business analysts must start owning in this process, right? Then of course we come to decision making, right? So what do you mean by decision making, Hari? So when I say decision making, I can hear you saying that, but as a business analyst, I hardly have any decision making skills. True, but look at it from the other perspective, right? Establish yourself. You are basically bringing in ideas. Your job is to curate the ideas, look at the potential business value of all these ideas and bubble up to the top. So you have to find merit in these ideas, right? You have to be both a curator and a creator of ideas. Then of course, favor decisions today over tomorrow, meaning that the decision that you can take today will probably, if they're going to help them move the product forward tomorrow at a much better pace, then take the decision today. And your job is to help the product manager make the decision. Right? Communicate the decision-making process. This is one of the most fundamental, difficult things to do in a large organization. Why? Because nobody understands how decisions are made. Are they made using an economic framework in mind? Are they made using customer needs in mind? That's often not very clear. Right? So making sure the team understands the decision-making process and making it clear to the team what the decisioning is and what is the reasoning behind it is very important. Oftentimes teams are told, go build this feature or go build this product without really understanding the rationale behind it. And that basically gives you a little bit, a product that's below par. And of course, your job is to help the team's opinion feel heard, right? You also have to be able to listen to ideas from the team and give them time, give them space, give them time to grow in your head and in the team's heads, right? Make the team feel valued. That's really important when it comes to transition as a product manager or product owner. Then of course we come to the last one, which is all about building, not the last, second last one, building trust. So what do you mean by trust, right? People have to trust you to do the job, right? So if somebody wants to give you, if you're expecting somebody to give you a product owner or a product manager job, then you will have to start building trust with them. And when I say trust, what I mean by that is you are constantly looking to contribute to roadmap, prioritization, understanding. You're there, you're present, you're physically present there. You're looking at the vision, you're looking at, you're looking at how can I contribute, how can I communicate, you're trying to understand, you're trying to listen, you're trying to lead, right? You're making your team members feel heard. You're understanding other teams now, like, you have a good sense of what are the dependencies that you may have on other teams and other teams may have on you, right? You're communicating clearly. All of these are basically very, very key skills that you need to build in order for your leadership to trust you with a designation or a role called product owner, product manager. And more importantly, right, leadership is looking for somebody who can own things end to end, own the plan. Be transparent, tell the exact details. You don't have to sugarcoat it. Don't do this whole watermelon. I don't know how many of you have heard of the watermelon reporting technique, which is basically, very simple one. Every week there's a project manager that sends out the report that basically says everything is green, green, green. And suddenly there's a client escalation. So you jump into the call and meeting, and then you ask the product manager, what's happening? And then the product manager opens a can of worms. Turns out it's fully red inside. Right? So that's basically the watermelon style of working. So everybody is in the dark until the watermelon is cut open, right? So we don't want that to happen. Be transparent about what you're building as a product or a service. Right? And of course, making other people's problems your own, right? You have to understand what are other people's motivations. How are they getting to speed? What are their objectives, right? How are they contributing in the big picture? How do they come in the picture when we have to align with the product goals? What are their career goals? How can I help people reach their career goals? All of these are items that a business analyst can start addressing if they want to become a product owner or a product manager. Any questions so far with whatever we've seen so far? Okay. The questions in the Q&A section, yes, we'll answer them towards the end. We'll come towards it in a minute. Fantastic. Now, so we talked about influence with authority. We talked about the art of decision making. We talked about building trust. We talked about making other people's problems your own, right? Now, what else can you do, right? An MBA is one way you can get into product management, right? However, it's not guaranteed. It totally depends on the placements, the company that's coming to you to hire you and all of this stuff. So a lot of people prefer doing the MBA to get into product management, which is not a bad idea, but again, it's not guaranteed to get you into product management. Then you have catalyst roles. What do you mean by catalyst roles? So if you remember, right, the previous slide I showed you about these are all everything. Any role can help you become a product manager. Find out what are those catalyst roles. Find out what are those roles that will accelerate your journey towards a product manager. What do you mean by that? For example, it could be a BA role, but in a different domain for some other customer, or maybe in a different part of the company, right? Now you may be thinking that I'm not very comfortable with that. It's out of my comfort zone, but get out of the comfort zone, because a good product manager will always have diverse experiences, right? Will always have experience. I mean, the best product managers that I know, they worked in animation, they worked in technology, they worked in movie making, right? They worked in software development. They've been homeless for a few years before they got their first kick. But yes, all of this is important. Get the diverse experiences in, right? Of course, know the product, know the technology, know the customers, know the business, know the industry, all of that stuff, right? Then we talk about, don't be afraid to bring up ideas. Get your idea in, get clarity. Your idea, you may think your idea is bad. It's okay. Bring it out. Let people, let your management answer that question, right? Become a storyteller. This is fundamentally very important skill to have. Become a storyteller, right? It's a skill to practice. You just can't become, just can't say from tomorrow onwards I'm going to be a storyteller. No, it takes a lot of skill, lot of practice. You can't become a storyteller just like that. And for telling a story, there needs to be a structure in place. You need to have it in your mind, right? How do you want to tell it? There has to be introduction, there has to be the core part of the story, and then you have to walk away with something funny or something insightful. Every time you tell a story, right, the audience gets captivated, right? They become attracted to you. They understand, they want to listen to what you have to say. That's really important to become a good storyteller. Then of course, customers, right? A very fundamental point. We don't visit our customers now. So visit your key customers or sales at least once a quarter. Understand what are their pain points, because they're putting food on the table. They are paying you your money. They are paying you, all the contract fees. So they expect you to deliver value for them. And the only way you can find out if you deliver value or not is to meet them at least once in a quarter and understand. Then of course, we spoke about trust, which is building a trust with your counterpart. So for a business analyst guy or a person, what are your who are your counterparts? You have your engineering, you have ops, you have marketing, you have sales, you have pre-sales, right? You have product management. All of these people are basically counterparts with whom you need to build trust for you to move forward. Now, this is one of the last of the slides where we talk about what do you need to become a product owner, product manager, right? Ultimately, after all of this, right, keep listening, stay humble, and be curious. Have that curiosity, have that fire that allows you to keep asking questions and investigate, right? Have a growth mindset. What do you mean by growth mindset? Growth mindset is nothing but having a positive attitude towards it, right? We are looking at how can I become better? How can we become, much more influential than what we're doing? How can I become a good storyteller? Instead of saying that, okay, no, this is all I have. This is all the skills that I have. I'm sorry. I'm born with this. No, have a growth mindset. You can acquire skills, right? And invite different perspectives, right? Remember, a good product manager will have different dimensions or perspectives to the problem, right? Usually the product manager or product owner will have a perspective that probably nobody else has seen in the product lifecycle. That's really important. So product owner, product managers have varied experiences and they have different perspectives. It's important to have that mindset. Really important there, right? Then, so if you look at this, right, if you remember, we spoke about this one at the very end, right? Like at the beginning, we spoke about the role definition in the 80s, we spoke about it in the 90s, we spoke about 2000s. What does the future contain, right? What does the future contain? The future, in my opinion, right, it requires enhanced communication and visual storytelling. It requires greater strategic focus. The business analysts will now influence every part of the enterprise. You're now shaping the organization strategy, right? You're going to provide deep customer insights. Personalization of products are going to happen, right? Continual improvement. strategic partnership. The point is, so far, business analysts have been treated like, okay, you're there, fine, fantastic, we'll run along with you. But now you can start noticing that business analysts have started becoming a partner. They are now a strategic partner. They are what we call as business growth facilitators. They are there to help the business grow, become better, become bigger, and that's really key. Because why do we exist? Because somebody needs something, right? And business analysts are going to help you achieve that. Now, having said that, right, what's next? Now, whatever we discussed so far is basically some tips, tricks, and ideas to break into product management, right? So, what do we do when you start getting these questions in your interviews? So these are some of the bouncers that I see, right? So, what are some of the bouncers that you have? So, your interviewer probably would say you don't have product management experience, right? So at that time, your response should probably be focused more on what does your current role do that is applicable to the product management role that you're trying to apply to, right? Sometimes they would say we need someone to hit the ground running. So then the question that you should be asking is, what are their top priorities? How do they define success? I talk about how you are excited to learn and do more, and you don't mind, getting your hands wet and dirty quick, right? Then you're not a product manager. What value do you bring to the table, right? Focus on aspects about your current role, right? The fact that you have some product knowledge, the fact that you have customer knowledge, you know how to do messaging, positioning, you know how competitive you are. All of these things matter when you're answering questions in an interview as a product manager. So please understand, right? Please understand that all of these things matter when you are interviewing for all these roles, right? Then how to leverage your skills and all your interviews and stuff like that, right? Identify lateral movements. What do you mean by lateral movements, right? In your own organization, you see a lot of people moving laterally, in the sense that they don't grow vertically, but instead of managing one department, they'll go to another department and manage that department, right? And that would basically eventually lead them to some other things. Find out what are those lateral movements in your own company that would basically help you get diverse experiences. That's really key. We also want to include side projects, right? If you're running something on the side, like running a small website, or you're building a small prototype of a website, or you're just sharing your designs online, or your breakdowns. I know a lot of people who are doing product breakdowns and stuff. Include them on your resume. Let people know that you're doing them, right? Focus on achievements, not responsibilities. What have you achieved? Anybody can be given responsibilities. It is taken from the JD directly. But what have you achieved? What did you do in the previous job? How was your success measured? That's important, right? Always make sure that you ask for feedback, especially in interviews, and get your answers clarified or questions clarified in detail before answering, right? Know your customer's product. Very key, right? I know many people who go to an interview and who haven't even clicked on the link sent to them by the HR or by the recruiter. It's really, really important, right? Make sure that you're speaking knowledgeably about other people's product and focus on transferable skills. What do you mean by transferable skills, right? These are skills that you can take from one domain to another domain. For example, a very simple example would be Power BI, right? Power BI is a tool used for reporting, right? Now, if you know how to use Power BI, you can use it in any domain you want. It's a transferable skill, being able to extract reports or data from one domain, basically build reports, and then, tomorrow if the data source changes, you change a few columns and there you have it, right? Focus on what skills that you can transfer across industries, that you can basically bring to the table and accumulate. These are really important. Be ready to speak about business metrics. How have you affected the business? How do you talk about business? Because remember, product management role is all about business. It's all about how do you bring things to the table? How do you get the customer to the table? How do you convince the customer to sell? And so if you're doing that, then you need to know what are your business metrics. And every time an interview doesn't go well, sit back, think what didn't go well, what can you do to improve on the interview experience. And today you have so many resources. We are all lucky that we live in a world that is so connected. You go to YouTube and you just given a few queries and you'll find like tons of resources that talk about what questions they ask in product management use. So leverage all of that. There's a lot of information out there. Use it, right? Now, what else? So imagine that you're somebody without any experience, right? You want to become a product manager without any experience. How? Simple. As I said, diverse backgrounds win. Meaning that if your background is very diverse, you have a lot of experience in multiple domains, you will eventually win, right? Keep trying. Build a product and make it successful, of course, right? Doesn't matter whether you're a product manager or not. If you have built a product, or if you're able to bring it to fruition and get like say, for example, 10,000, 20,000 users using the product, you are a product manager, right? In your current company, if you can get as close to the product management team as possible, get in there. As I said before, if you remember one of the first slides we spoke about, go to all those meetings, attend those meetings, take the meeting minutes, understand the business, understand the relationships. Important. Try and transitioning at your own company, right? If there is keep a lookout for all these open roles in your company. Try asking them questions. Can I apply? What would happen if I apply? Ask all for all, and don't be afraid to try. Nobody's going to eat you alive. Okay? Don't be afraid to try that. You want to basically apply for this product management role. What do you need to do? Should I ask this person or not? Hit on that LinkedIn request, hit on that request for testimonials, get that done. Do that, right? Now I'll just go back one slide, right? So until now, whatever we saw basically is what is the effect of how do you become a product manager, right? From a business analyst role, how do I transition into a product manager, a product owner kind of a role? Now we talk about why should you go for Scaled Agile, right? So Scaled Agile, in my opinion, I'm going to take 2 minutes on this slide. Scaled Agile, in my opinion, is one of the most unique frameworks that I've seen that basically works fantastically for large organizations, right? So when you say Scaled Agile, I'm talking about scaling Agile. So usually what happens in many companies, Agile is done at what? 3-4 teams do Agile, sometimes 10-11 teams do Agile. That's great. It all works for them. But what do you do when you have to keep track of all of this, right? When you have to basically keep a tab on all those sprint teams that are running around, how many metrics, or all the 12, you're going to see 12 different slides on the velocities and metrics, things like that, right? It becomes very difficult, incredibly difficult to keep track of all of that and run on the ground, right? So for that reason, Scaled Agile basically introduces what we call as Scaled Agile Framework 6.0, where we talk about a lot of interesting things. For those of you who have never seen this picture before, this is called as the big picture. This is called as a Scaled Agile big picture, where we basically talk about how this happens at every level. So you can see there is a team level differentiation here. There's an ART level differentiation. There's a solution train level. There's a portfolio level, all going upwards. Now, what do you mean by ART? What do you mean by solution train? What do you mean by portfolio? I don't want to bore you with all those details for now. But what you need to understand is, on an average, what we call as an ART, which is basically Agile Release Train, right? It consists of anywhere between 50 to 125 people on it. So basically, this many people are working on an Agile Release Train on an average. Right? So you can imagine as you keep going up the chain, the number is bound to increase. So this is a very, very useful tool, especially when you're trying to scale Agile. Right? And you can notice, right, why is this important, right? In this entire framework, you can see that the product owner role is very clearly demarcated. The product manager role is also very clearly demarcated. It's a specific role in the big picture for us. We talk about it in detail. So it's so important, or it's important that Scale Agile thinks that it's good to have a separate certification for product owners and product managers. Right? Of course, you have other certifications as well, but since the focus of this masterclass is only on POPM, we're going to cover only that. Right? Now, why should you use Scale Agile, right? You must have already seen the content in the beginning, but I just want to kind of reiterate the content here, right? The Scale Agile has become like the most popular and the most favorite framework for scaling in the world today. There are many other frameworks: Scrum at Scale, Scrum of Scrum, Agile Portfolio Management, Spotify Model, Enterprise Scrum. But Scale Agile is popular as any other framework. And to be honest with you, to be very honest with you, I'm just finishing PI planning for one of the customers and coming and taking this webinar. So it's that popular, right? Now, if you look at this one, right? So what is the benefit of adopting scaled agile, right? There are a lot of benefits, especially from the executive's perspective. What they found out that people are 30 to 50% more happier. You are basically, you are doubling your time to market, which is the time it takes from the feature it comes to you till the time you deliver it. There's a 35% increase in productivity and close to 50% reduction in defects. That's fantastic, right? You're basically focusing on 4 core metrics: engagement, time to market, quality, and productivity. And this is proven. Now, for those of you who ask, Hari, this is great, but how do you say it's proven, right? On the Scale Agile website, if you go to, right, so there's the section called customer stories. You can find that there are close to 100 or at least 80, if I'm not wrong. We'll find 80 plus customer stories who have adopted Scaled Agile and seen success there. Okay. And these 80 are not just in IT. They are across multiple domains. Some of them is basically a chip manufacturer. One of them is basically a farming equipment company. One is an airline company. There are like hundreds and hundreds of other organizations that have adopted Scaled Agile, and the ones that you're seeing on the portal are basically validated case studies from Scaled Agile, which means there was actual Scaled Agile practiced, and the benefits were actually measured. Now, having said that, right, scale. This is a very very interesting slide, because this is how it's a role-based learning that we see. So you can see that there are specific certifications for architects and engineers, for Scrum Masters, for developers, for product owners, for change agents, right, and of course for leadership and management, right? You can see how all these certifications play a big role in this journey, and you can see some of them are required even before you launch your first train, and some of them they can take this own time. That's okay, but you still need them there. Without these, you'll not be successful, right? Then, and I just wanted to highlight that you can see that there's a very specific role that is highlighted for POPM as well: product owner, product manager, and agile product management. Now, having said that, Scaled Agile is built on first principles, meaning that we have taken the best of lean thinking principles, we have taken the best of the Agile values, we've defined our own core values on alignment, transparency, respect for people, and business improvement. And based on all of this, we've built 10 very, very important Scaled Agile principles that are absolutely fundamental to how we operate. Now, one thing that I've noticed, right, in many organizations, if you go and tell them that I want to introduce this framework, or I think this framework will solve the problem, right, they'll immediately, the first thing that they will say is, right, this is great, but our organization is different. It will not work in our context. It will not work in the way we are operating in, right? But the fact, what I've noticed, and what Scale Agile also confirms that my belief is correct, is that these principles that we talk about here, they are fundamental in nature, meaning that they are at the very core, they act on first principles. So if you know your fundamentals, these principles very well, then you can apply them as you like. Not so the point is, not all of these 10 principles are applicable at all in all scenarios. You have to pick and choose, but the point is the training gives you enough advantage for figuring out what principles to use when. That's the key here, right? Then there are a lot of Scale Agile certifications that are currently being offered, but the point is, there's a SAFe product owner, product manager certification, of course, and there's an agile product management certification as well. Now, for those of you who are interested or curious about what does this contain, what does this contain, right? Let me give you a quick heads up. So this one is about 70% of product owner and about 30% product manager, and this one is all about 70% product manager, about 20% product owner, and 10% Scrum Master. So it basically tells you a breakdown like that, and it's very useful. Both certifications are very, very powerful in terms of your influence in the organization and new techniques as well. Having said that, there's just one slide that I want to copy from, bring in from Scaled Agile, which is all about what does the product management role do. In Scaled Agile, the product manager role is focused on delivering value, exploring markets and users. managing and prioritizing the ART backlog, defining product strategy, vision, and roadmaps, and connecting with the customer. And what does the product owner do? Product owner is basically supporting the team in delivering the value, managing and prioritizing the team level backlog, contributing the vision and roadmap, connecting with the customer, and applying and getting the feedback. So you can see that in Scaled Agile, there is room for both product owners as well as product managers. And having said that, let's look a very short comment on the curriculum per se as to what is covered as part of the material itself, right? We talk a lot about the roles themselves, what roles, what responsibilities, what do they do, right? How do they contribute? We talk about preparing for PA planning, which is an event in Scaled Agile. We talk about leading PA planning with vision. We talk about executing iterations. We talk about executing the PI. We talk about practicing Scaled Agile. So this is just a small sample of the curriculum that we cover as part of the POPM certification. Right. I think from this point onwards, I will probably hand it off to Divya.
Hello, Harichan. Thank you. So yeah, here you can see some of the steps, to get through SAFe POPM. So you'll have to get trained at first. If you, I'm sure that KnowledgeHut solutions will be on your bucket list at the top, and you will have to take up the exam. And once you're cleared, you're there. And so some of the course highlights over here. The training includes interactive exercises and case studies and discussion that enable practical applications of the concepts learned. So you will cover 16 hours of live instructor-led training, 16 PDUs which you get out of it, and 16 SEUs out of Scrum Educational, and you will have this membership for about a year in SAFe community, and exam fees included with the course fee. Yes, you will have access to Scaled Agile community for practice. So by the end of the course, the participant will be, well prepared to take the SAFe POPM certification exam and take the crucial roles of POPM and SAFe Agile environment. So ready to start your SAFe journey? So let's, get started on your SAFe journey together. What would you like to know or discuss more? So absolutely, I'm here to help you out with that. So getting started with SAFe can be a rewarding journey for individuals and organizations alike. You need to follow the steps to embark on your SAFe journey, yes. So feel free to ask any questions if you have anything about SAFe or Agile practices or SAFe certifications or anything that's related. So we're here to assist you. Getting started with SAFe, so all that you need to do is find the right SAFe learning partner. So there are like a lot of training partners out there who's going to show moon to you. So stay sensible on that. The first step is to find a reputable, the previous slide, Harichan. Yeah. So the first step is to find a SAFe learning partner that offers certified training courses. Scaled Agile INC provides a list of authorized SAFe training providers on their official website. You can have a look on it. So look for partners that offer specific SAFe certification courses that you are interested in, such as SAFe POPM or SAFe Scrum Master or SAFe Agilist or so. And the second step, is to follow the roadmap. So once you have identified a suitable SAFe learning partner, so review the training roadmap and course offerings. The roadmap will outline the various certification levels and recommended sequence to follow. And the third step that you have is to learn more about SAFe enterprise subscription. So Harichan, it's the same slide, which is getting started with SAFe. Yeah, there you go. So step 3, learn more about SAFe Enterprise subscription. So SAFe Enterprise subscription is a service offered by Scaled Agile INC that provides access to resources, tools, and support to organizations implementing SAFe at a scale. So it includes access to SAFe community platforms to, updates and guidance and additional content to support your agile transformation. So by following all of these 3 steps, you can begin your SAFe journey on the right foot, gaining the knowledge, the skills and resources needed to succeed in agile environments and to contribute to successful agile transformations. Yeah. So why select KnowledgeHut as your SAFe learning partner? KnowledgeHut believes and drives all of its training to be outcome-based. So if there is no outcome, we're not happy, which is why we make sure we give you everything you need in order to get the outcome that you desire out of it. So always ensure the learning partner aligns with your learning objectives and preferences to have the most rewarding learning experience on your SAFe journey. And KnowledgeHut Solutions is never out of top 1 in the list. So partnership with Scaled Agile INC. Being a gold SPCT partner means that KnowledgeHut has established its strong partnership with Scaled Agile INC and is recognized as a trusted provider of SAFe training and consulting. So KnowledgeHut has ensured to meet specific criteria to be recognized as a trusted provider of SAFe training and consulting. So let me let you know what it takes for a gold SPCT. So SPCTs play a crucial role in training and certifying other SAFe professionals. And they are highly experienced in implementing SAFe in complex enterprise environments to, organizations that have gold SPCT means, a partner status that are well regarded for their expertise in SAFe and their commitment to delivering high quality training and consulting services. So what are you waiting for even? So, and KnowledgeHut has achieved a high level proficiency in delivering SAFe services, and it is recognized as a trusted training provider. That is all that you need to look into. And let's take a closer look at each point of it. So, yeah, a highly certified and experienced consultants. So this indicates that the organization employs trainers and consultants who hold various SAFe certifications and extensive experience in agile practices, making them knowledgeable and capable of delivering high quality training and consultancy services. So advanced capability to deliver SAFe training. So KnowledgeHut is a reliable SAFe learning partner and has the capability to deliver SAFe training effectively, offering a comprehensive and engaging learning experience to its participants. And then you see extensive SAFe consulting experience. So what I would say is organizations with extensive experience in SAFe consulting have likely, worked with various clients or helping them implement and, scale agile practices using the SAFe framework. So this experience can, contributes to their expertise in understanding unique challenges and providing, I would say, valuable solutions. Yeah, continuous improvement and contribution to SAFe community. KnowledgeHut is committed to its continuous improvements and staying up to date with the latest developments in agile methodologies. They also actively, we also actively contribute to SAFe community by sharing knowledge and its best practices. Yes, exceptional customer satisfaction. Probably this is one of the key things that you will have to look into while enrolling. So it's a strong indicator of a trustworthy and reliable SAFe learning partner. We are the organization that provides or prioritizes customer satisfaction and focuses on delivering value and meeting the needs of their clients effectively. So when selecting SAFe learning partner or a consultancy, it's very essential and important to consider these attributes along with factors such as their maybe track record or reviews or testimonials, the range of services offered, or how well they can align with your organization's specific goals and needs. So watch over it. KnowledgeHut is a global leader. Yes, we have facilitated around 300 plus agile transformations, and we are, top 10 global scaled agile training provider And also we are covering, 100 plus countries, and we're still counting on it. 100 plus collective experience in agile transformations, having trained over 250,000 professionals in agile and Scrum showcases, the widespread and impact and influence of KnowledgeHut's training programs on the agile community. And you also see that, it's 650 plus top trainers across the globe. So be wise. Choosing the right training partner is crucial for a successful agile transformation and its developmental journey. Yep. So it's a huge number, right? 450,000 alumni and 4,500 enterprise partners, and we're covering 100 plus countries. As with any learning or a consulting service provider, it's essential to do your own research and reviews. I mean, read reviews and to understand how their offerings align with your specific requirements. So, yeah. And Prism. So it's a comprehensive learning, self-paced videos is what you get to access. And it's a live instructor-led sessions, and which is going to be more of interactive, and you're going to get the classroom feel out of it. And you will have cloud lab exercises for your practices and assignments that's given out to you to get through your examinations, and problem solving sessions, and your progress reports. So you know how confident you are to get through the next step. Yeah, and we have exclusive bonuses for you guys. So we have a free lifetime access and a complimentary gift worth, INR 2150. So you'll get an access to Agile and Scrum session, basically. And you will also have one-on-one session with our experts for 30 minutes. So we can book up, you will always have the choice to book up your one-on-one slots with our SAFe expert. So enroll, get to the point of enrolling now. And you have your exclusive bonuses for you, a free gift worth 2158. And, you can see that the, course includes 8 hours of, demanded videos, 13 auto-graded assessments, and 11 assignments to 13 recall quizzes, 13 ebooks. So this is what you get as a complimentary or a free gift. Exciting, right? Yeah. So here we're going to have a Q&A session. And watch over your chat box. We have sent you a link so that you can access and get through more about the program information and the schedule to whatnot. And feel free to contact. You will have a quick call from our representatives, and you will get there. Yes. And meantime, please do drop out your question and answers. For your questions. We are good to answer now.
Okay. So I think I'll start with the first question from
sure.
From Ishant Kamra, right? So yeah. Ishant basically said he wanted to transition from sales to product management and not sure which certification shall I take, and also eligibility criteria of certifications. For instance, do these certifications require experience in product management? To be honest with you, Ishant, I don't think any certification today in the market requires any specific experience per se in product management. A lot of people that I know basically take up these certifications to break into product management. So it's like, you do these certifications to become a product manager. So for that reason, that criteria is not required at all. So you're good. You can take up any certification you want. Right? Next question I like to answer is from Isha. Like, is this also relevant for people who are already in a POPM role and who don't need a transition but also like to uplift in skill sets? I would say definitely yes. It's a very good course for basically upskilling yourself and understanding new tools and techniques, especially in a scaled market, meaning that when you have to manage across multiple teams and you have to manage across teams in an enterprise like setting, then in that case this is a very good refresher of that of the material itself.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So then we talk about Ishant, how does SAFe compare with PMP in terms of recognition by companies? I'm not going to talk about PMP per se, but I'm going to talk about Scaled Agile, right? So Scaled Agile is the most popular scaling framework in the market that I know of personally. Okay. And in terms of recognition, right, Scaled Agile certifications are recognized in many organizations, and they're in fact they're put on the JD as you need like a SAFe POPM or a SAFe SSM per se. So that's really important, right? To answer Shifali, how is it different from CSPO from Scrum Alliance? Good question, right? Without talking about CSPO and Scrum Alliance, the one thing that I want to highlight is most certifications out there, they talk about doing product ownership and product management on a one team or two team level, right? How do you scale it? How do you make it work across multiple companies? What are the cadences you need to have? Like what kind of interactions do I need? How, when do I need to plan? All of these things are covered as part of scaled agile, and for that reason I would say SAFe POPM is a good bet, right? Ishwar had two questions, PMP versus SAFe, pros and cons in terms of certification value, both of them together, right? Now I cannot really talk about PMP, but I know for a fact that SAFe certifications are becoming more and more valuable now. People are expecting you to upgrade literally, like 6.0 has come in a few weeks ago, and people are expecting you to basically have 6.0 scaled agile product manager certification. So in terms of that, yes, it definitely has value, right? Now, how is the project manager different from product manager, right? This is a question from Vishwanath. Now, project manager, so what is a project, right? So in terms of normal definition of a project is nothing but it's a small initiative that has a start date, it has an end date, it has a budget associated with it, right? That's a project, right? A product basically has a life cycle. It has a life cycle where you basically think about the product, when you start building the product, and then you deliver the product, and then finally retire the product. Inside the product life cycle, you can have a lot of smaller projects running inside that. So for that reason, project managers are very different from product managers. Product managers have to think about the big picture, the customers, the revenue, the markets, all of that. So project managers basically have to keep focus on the scope and the cost and the timelines, and deliver accordingly. So there's a big difference between these two, right? As AI is replacing a lot of roles, how does AI impact PM, PO, BA job market or roles? Very, very good question, right? At this point in time, it's too early to tell is what I would say, right? I can sense there's some amount of, a lot of distress in the market. People are, feeling a bit worried about, is AI going to take my job or not? Who knows? Tomorrow there might be an AI Haricharan basically conducting this webinar. Who knows, right? So the point I want to tell you is, while the impact will be felt, right, the human touch, the human emotions, the emotional intelligence, the emotional quotient of the job will not go away. So, right, AI will take some time to learn that. So, in my opinion, there might be some short-term impact, but long-term impact, I think, will be all right. Right? Should we go for Ishant? Question from Ishant, right? Should we go for POPM or APM? Now, good question. I think the same question is also asked by Karthik M. Is it fine to do APM directly before the POPM course, right? Now, if you've been doing product ownership / product management for quite some time, they say quite some time, I mean relevant experience of at least 6 to 7 years, then you can go for the APM course. Otherwise, I would say go for the POPM. That would give you much more value for whatever you're paying, and it will also give you much more value for learning aspect as well, right? Since I don't have experience in product management, so will I be able to learn about this through courses and pass the exam? Ishant, this is a question from Ishant, right? It is going to be slightly tricky because, if you're not doing that per se role, it might be a little bit tricky in understanding what you're doing. But I think in terms of passing the exam and all is should be very easy to do. Don't worry about that too much, right? Question from Deepa. I have advanced PSPO certification. Is SAFe POPM still worth adding? Definitely worth adding, Deepa. I would say yes, it definitely is worth adding, for the simple reason that, as I said before, SAFe POPM opens up a lot more doors in the market, and also because SAFe POPM talks about scaling agile. You're not talking about just one team and doing product ownership one team. How do you work in a team of product owners? What kind of meetings do you need to have? How do you manage those dependencies? How do you manage the scope of work? When do I start planning? All of these questions are answered as part of that. So for that reason, I find your SAFe POPM to be worth doing. Yes. Yes. What is the current market demand for POPM CSPO? Because as I said, proven work is required and I'm experiencing the same. Good question, Dheeraj, right? The market demand for POPM and CSPO is pretty high. No doubt about it. Okay. Every day I'm seeing a lot of job posts that say, they're looking for a certified CSPO or a certified POPM. So the market demand is there. But the challenge with the market demand is you also have to be able to establish yourself saying that you can do the work. Right? It is not that they're requiring for experience, but they need basically to know or be comfortable with the fact that you can deliver on whatever you're promising. So for that reason, this is important. Okay. I think that's about it. Okay. I think this question is probably for Divya. The question that just popped up on the screen right now, if you're interested. And of course, if you have any questions in terms of, I need to know more about the course per se. I want to talk to somebody and I want to know whether this would fit me or not. Then there's a link in the chat window where you can book like a one-on-one session with our expert, probably for 15-20 minutes. And that will give you, they'll be able to provide you with necessary clarity. Right. Thank you, Karthik. Appreciate it. Okay. Any other questions that I can help you with? Thank you, Anuj. Appreciate it. Thank you, Shant. Thank you, Vishwanath. Thank you, Anshul. Appreciate it.
Yeah. So thank you, everyone. It was a wonderful session for me and with a lot of learnings. Any questions related to enrollment of the course, to anything with respect to that, please do contact us. And you have a link in the chat box. You do have a contact info. Do reach us out, and you have the email address, riches@knowledgehut.com. And we would love to help you out. And for all of those attendees who stayed throughout the session, you have an exciting gift. Probably you will get a call tomorrow from our representatives, and you'll get to open up the box. So yeah, thank you so much, Haricharan. It was a wonderful session, and hope to see you again all.